Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston, and it is super that you are here with me for our monthly I Ching forecast for November 2025. 2 months left of 2025. Let's make the most of the time that we have. Last month, there was a lot of intensity. We had Hexagram 60, limitation, putting in place boundaries and controls and checks, learning how to manage the overflow, thinking about putting in place the dam structure, the aqueducts, the controls to allow us to master the flow that's happening through our lives, to control it. Plus lots more water because we had Hexagram 29 abysmals, our second hexagram. Oh yes, the water barreling down the ravine. And the way that we deal with it is we let go of the side of the cliff and we let the water take us. We master water by becoming water, not trying to fight it, not trying to control it in the second half of the month, but really going with the flow and just dealing with things as they come up without panicking or thrashing in the water. And if you felt that your month was all about that energy, join the club. It was a lot of intensity, and it normally does with that Hexagram 29. And of course, wonderful, powerful energy that can flow to us when we get into those controls, into placing limits, not flying too high, staying close to the ground, that we learn through Hexagram 60. If there was anything that came up for you in October related to those themes, please do share. November. Ooh, what are we working with? Well, we are gunning it right to the end of the year. There is no rest for us this month because our main hexagram and flow of change for the month of November is 51. Shock, shake up, change, taking action. Okay, this hexagram is a doubling of thunder. Thunder trigram on the top, thunder trigram on the bottom, a doubling in intensity of thunder. You can imagine you hearing a thunderstorm and the lightning flashes one after the other, and it feels relentless. And there's a sense of awe and fascination and fear, and the lightning flashing through our windows and bringing all kinds of change and energy and attentiveness. All our sensory organs are hyper-focused, hypersensitive to the moment. That is what this month is all about. It brings a sudden, sometimes unexpected, continuous, repetitive flow of change. Bam, 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 bam. Things just accelerate. It's an energy that we master this energy by doing two things really well. We take action. Okay, so we use the energy of shake-up, movement, energy. There's a huge upswelling of yang energy, right? With this doubling of thunder energy. We leverage that energy by taking action and leaning into it. November is not the time to lay low and take things easy. No, because life will force us to get up and get moving. Okay, so we get somewhere, we master this moment by taking action, harnessing the energy, harnessing the lightning, all right? Getting that lightning rod and you, okay, tap into Zeus. Okay, that is that kind of energy. And then the second part of it is in all the shake-up and the acceleration and the change and the relentless one thing after the other, which could be blessings, it could be challenges, it could be all of the above mixed together, okay? We don't lose our minds. We see our lives and we see things that are important to us as being this kind of precious egg. And you often heard of me speak about holding this precious egg for this hexagram and holding it dear, not letting the world, the situation, the things happening around us drop our concentration on protecting the thing that's important, the precious egg. Perhaps for a work situation, that's the purpose. Perhaps in our personal lives, that's our core, our thing that's really important to us now, our mental wellness, our physical health, our goals we're working towards. What is the precious egg that you are protecting? And in November, the way that we master this month and we master this energy while we are channeling Zeus down the lightning rod, okay? Think of Back to the Future, that famous scene right at the end, you know what I mean, if you're from my generation. And you can literally kickstart huge, massive energy if you harness that power and you don't lose your mind in the process. You don't let all the action, okay, make you so excited and overwhelmed that we drop what's really important. Because If, for example, this change and this shake-up and this acceleration is blessings and suddenly everyone's saying yes, all your customers saying yes, right? All the doors opening all at once. It can be like, wow, this is so amazing, success. Okay, what happens is we don't pay attention to the things that are actually warning signs, things that are important, and we lose the plot in the process. No, we're not going to do that. Now, one changing line for this month in the 4th position. Okay, so that means that we break the month up into 2 time periods. The beginning of November to round about the 15th of November, when this changing line matures, okay, reaches its fullness. And then from then on, we start moving towards the second hexagram more fully. Okay, so around about the 15th of November, this changing line matures, and then it starts waning as we move towards the second hexagram. This changing line says, stuck in a bog, stuck in the mud. Okay, now there are several things, layers to understanding what this line is trying to bring us. One is we might experience, particularly in the first 2 weeks of November, one or more issues where we feel really stuck. Okay, it's like our legs are in this sucking mud, right? And we are stuck in there, and no matter how hard we try and work, a little bit of quicksand thrown in there, and we are bogged down. Okay, bogged down can be mentally stuck on an issue, too much work, right? Not enough team to help. What does bogged down mean? Okay, what is stuckness for you in that first 2 weeks? So it can be an issue where you are stuck. Okay, and what this movement energy, there's all this movement energy. So it might be a particular thing that you're dealing with where you're bogged down. Okay, the way we work with it is we kind of in that moment of feeling stuck, okay, and we feel like we can't move and this issue's locked, okay, and there's problems, okay, we just keep our senses open for that little energy of movement, okay, that shock energy, that shake up energy, call upon it, call that lightning bolt in, and we just start following movement around the lightning bolt. Like as we start feeling that crackle of electricity, okay, we start feeling it and moving into it, and we start pulling on it, and it allows us to pull us out of the bog. Okay, so it's using the energy of this hexagram as a tool to help us move out of the stuckness. This month, either which way, we're going to be tuned into the stuckness. Something is highlighting where we're stuck, and it might be for many of us stuck up here, okay? We're stuck in a mental prison, okay, on some particular issue, and our job is to be free from that. So that's one thing. You're already stuck, okay? How do we use the energy of this hexagram to liberate us and move us out of the bog, out of the mud or the pit? The second aspect of working with this is the risk in the midst of all these things coming at us, all the energy of shake up coming at us all the time, that we become stuck, okay? Because it's our coping mechanism of hunkering down, going into the shell, going into what we know, sticking with the difficulties and the heaviness because it allows us not to have to move forward, to release things, to release the bog, to find a safe place in that inner sanctum and just stay there and stay locked in there until everything passes over, until the storm is over. But that is not what this month is asking us to do. This month is asking us to let the shake-up energy shake us out of the mud, okay, to liberate us from where we are stuck. So we might be stuck, and this is how we take a remedial action, or we have a risk of getting stuck because of all the things that are flying at us. We will never get more than we can handle, okay? So when you are feeling like, ooh, okay, you're starting to see the red line, zoop, 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 okay, we know how to manage ourselves. We know how to understand that there's a lot going on. And we also realize that in the midst of all this action, we can lose our minds. We can forget what's important and put down the precious egg that we and we alone are responsible to look after. Okay, so keep that egg, keep that precious thing that's important to you alive and in your hands, moving it forward. If you are busy with an important personal project and work is always getting in the way, or family commitments are all getting in the way, Those are just going to get louder this month. Focus on the egg. Focus on what's precious. Focus on what's really, really important to you. Don't let the feeling of being stuck keep you stuck. Okay, so we're not going to let ourselves get stuck because we're afraid. We are not going to stay stuck because we're going to let the lightning energy that will crackle around us be a clue as to where the lightning bolt is leading us, and we're going to go with it. We're going to go with the flow, and we're going to allow the energy to shake us free of the thing that is holding us stuck. We can do that. All right, so that gives us a second hexagram. And this hexagram is hexagram 24, the return. A whole lot of female lines, one male line at the bottom, okay, the energy coming back in to the dark night. It's the turning point, okay, the arrival of light after darkness, the arrival of better times after the hibernation, okay. And so it points to a turning point, things not yet being bright and breezy and full of energy, but a turning point towards something far, far better. This hexagram can also refer to turning back to something we know, or turning back to perhaps a place that we lived, or a previous life situation, or a previous relationship, or previous employment, or previous career. But it is a turning point energy. Okay, after the dark night, all the lines are dark. The light-giving force comes back in, and we shift towards the light. We shift towards the better time. It's a wonderful hexagram. It teaches us to be patient, because with that shift, it's just the beginning of the shift. There's a whole lot more that needs to be done once the shift is starting to move, but the shift is there. And November brings us awareness of where that shift is. What are we working towards? And after all this energy of the shake-up and the shock and the movement and the acceleration, it brings us that turning point. And perhaps getting released from that bog, from the mud, being proactive participants in releasing ourselves from wherever we are stuck, brings the light-giving principle. It comes back because we have released something where we are stuck. Wow, it's going to be an interesting, intense month. This energy is going to take us forward. Last month we had lots of water. Okay, now we have electrical energy. Okay, let us work with it. Wishing you a wonderful month. Thank you for being here with me. And if this was valuable, useful, you know what to do. A thumbs up, a like would be super. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, the bell, the follow button for all the podcasts. And I look forward to connecting with you very soon for our first full weekly episode for November. What is the I Ching asking us to pay attention to in our first weekly forecast? Until then, take care.